because their character, what they know, they think they want, their actions won't reflect that. Their habits won't change. Therefore, I can't change them. I'm only the spark. But when I partner with somebody that will really do anything, the empowerment's off the chain. It's crazy. I'm working with that had $1.1 million. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. Let's put in comparison. I coach also people, executives from, and also a company called, anybody heard? In Southern California, they make $10 million a year on crisp cut fries and chicken fingers. Great will make anywhere between $8.5 and $9 million a year. I've been in the food industry now for 2.5 years, right? Raising Cane's makes 10. So my guys hired me. It's like, man, if we could just get 10% better in terms of the bottom line. And then when I talked to them, I was like, well, you got to coach your people. They thought it had to do with food quality, speed of service, like all of the things that I've learned now, right? Had nothing to do with that. It's building and developing empowered people so that now the drive-through becomes better. It becomes almost a Disneyland experience. If you come to one of our, they're like, hey, how you doing? Yeah, good, good. And can I get you anything else? And if you want to order anything, you just say, oh, absolutely. What would you like to order? Even though there's 30 people behind you, we'll still get it done within the speed of service of 4 minutes in between. And now it becomes an experience. Like, why wouldn't you create something that's like a Disneyland experience where youth and elders or anyone, middle age, broke, rich, it doesn't matter the gender, that they're like, damn, that's awesome. You know why? Because they know who they are and their actions reflect what it is that they know that they want. That's what it comes down to. In over 28 industries. So now these have made an extra $1 million per Jack in the Box than when they first started meeting with me. They were already these things. They were already the highest operating Jack in the Boxes in the brand, in the country. They were already good. Now, we taught them some of these life skills that we're talking about, not industry specific skills, life skills. We taught them these things. We own 100. When I say we, the ownership group, 126 nationwide. All of them made $1 million more than they did in 2018. How grateful do you think those owners are? Because now the life skills equated to the bottom line in performance. You want to do that in your job? You want to do that with your kids? You want to do that with your life? Develop the professional skills. Go to the fundamental skill set stuff. I mean, I think the California Association for Peace Officers deal is right down the street. They already started talking to me about doing some stuff for them. When they hold an event, go to it. They have free events. Go get better within your industry. But you better focus on the life stuff. Because what I find when it's problematic or there's issues in every industry that I deal with, it has nothing to do with the industry specifics. It has everything to do with the lack of understanding and knowledge of the way to approach life. Who thinks I'm right? Raise your hand. Say me. Say hashtag. Say real talk. Real talk. Now, can you read that off for me? Please read that slide for me as we're talking about integrity. Please, sir.
When what you know morally is reflected in one's actions. That's integrity.
That's what I define as integrity. So I go into these buildings and I have almost a bantering. It's not even a debate with academics that sit around and focus on a word and we talk about why this word is something. And the power of words, I think we take for granted these days for what a word actually means, how we use it. But as a professional, I sit around in these rooms and I just crack up about really the level of thinking we could put into a word. Now think of it this way as well. How easy is it when you Google a word that it pops up before you even finish the word? So then we know that the letters that combine to make any word or life meaning only has a strand or a programming that once you put these 3 letters in, that you're going to get the rest of the word. And then what if you misspell 1 or 2 things in a word? 1 letter in 1 word makes it misspelled and an error. What about understanding? How many times do we think that people understand, but they're missing 1 word or an extra encouraging word? It's just amazing, is it not? Or am I the only one that thinks that? Am I the only one who thinks that? Or do we think it's amazing? Say amazing if you think it's amazing. Amazing. Okay, work ethic. Let's go right here in the back. Man, I haven't heard from you yet. Could you introduce yourself to the group? Who you're with? And please read off this slide for me.
Hi, everybody. My name is Melanie Perry. I'm another one from ABC.
Oh, welcome.
Life lesson number 7, work ethic. Working hard and putting in the time, energy, and actions to accomplish a goal.
Okay. Working hard. So what is the main thing that people, which is this, people talk about, if something doesn't work, they always come back down to what? Well, you got to work harder. So this is the difference between how I approach work ethic and just working hard. Is there's a goal in mind. And that if you're not achieving that goal, sometimes is you're not working hard enough in terms of energy and intensity, but most of the time is that your work ethic has the wrong strategy. Does that make sense? So if strategically you're going after something or you don't have a goal and you're just working, how many billion-dollar migrant field workers do we know that work their ass off? They all are. They work their ass off. How many of them become billionaires? Not that many. So when we take a hard work ethic and put a goal and a strategy behind it, that's when work ethic becomes amazing. We talked about work ethic already in terms of being effective with your time. Who here has a to-do list? Okay. I would ask you to consider in the things that you're working on that you need to get done, that you make it a MIT list. Okay. This is what I'm saying in that. Write down all the things it is that you have to do. If you're like me, there's 4 phases of my life. Okay. It goes family, Coach V LLC, Invictus Youth Foundation, and then also personal time, what I call personal time, me time, workout time, reading time, so forth. So most experts tell us to have your to-do list be your most important task, or your most important task to be the 3 to 4 major things you have to do in your life. Is that true? For that day. Is that true? Well, if you're like me and you got 4 things and you get 3 or 4, that's 16 things. So then if you now take your work ethic and design it where in football, I reverse engineered this for my clients. In football, we take the goal, which is playing on Saturday in college football. And this is what you do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, leading up. What if you build a habit or a routine in your work ethic? That's the strategy. Where this is what you do on most Mondays. This is what you do on most Tuesdays. This is what you do on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So then you get a routine that you don't have to think about. How many of us wake up some days and we don't know where to start? Because you just got so much stuff to do. Come on, real talk, right? But if you built in a routine, the stuff that blindsides you that has to become a priority, you just stick it in there. You start with your family time and you look at December and you move backwards. This is what we're doing for Christmas. When is the birthdays and holidays? What are you doing for birthdays? Anniversaries, people that are important to you, cultural events. Now you can work around that calendar and you become more effective because you design your life. That's working with a strategy. In my field, there's a couple different things as well in terms of marketing that changed my business from being a $100,000 a year business to a $200,000 business. $100,000 and $200,000 in one strategy. I used to have clients book me by hour. $200, $275 an hour. Sometimes clients would miss that, so then I don't get that $275 an hour. So then I switched to every client, the same amount of clients, now pay me anywhere between $3,000 and $5,000 for 3 months of training. And they pay it on the front end. that one strategy of missing out on hourly clients for less money and just pitching it for the value I thought it was, seeing who would jump, made me double the money in one strategy. Same work ethic, right? Does that make sense? And I know not everyone in here is an entrepreneur, but in whatever it is you're doing, my point is you can increase or double the value of what you get by what you work for if you just switch the strategy. Who has a question on that? Because everybody's looking at me kind of like, yes, sir.
I won't say it's a question, but it's more like something that I use is work smarter, not necessarily harder.
Absolutely.
William met de Foktaal Tapel, we call me Coach V.